What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Hogwarts Legacy, breaking records, doing very, very well out in the wild, and some of the backlash. And before we get too far into the video, I don't think I have to say this, but just for full transparency of all the things we're about to talk about, Warner Bros. Did provide me a code 1 day early. You can judge me however you want for that. It has nothing to do with what we're about to say, but I figured I would just say it. I want to try to combat it, at least in the purposes of this video, with more positivity, with the accomplishments that Hogwarts has done. Let me quickly just start out by touching upon the controversy in it's awful. The things that are going around, without naming specific people, because there's actually too many, without even naming specific things. Well, the Twitch thing is definitely one with the watch list that they put people on, right? If you stream this game on Twitch, it has gotten out of hand, to put it lightly. It's not like we didn't expect this kind of stuff to happen, specifically those that have watched me talk about it for years. But at the same time, I actually didn't know it was going to get this bad in terms of the actual specifics of what people are doing. As I always say, play the game, don't play the game, whatever you want. But when you step over the line and you start insulting each other, that's where I draw the line. And the people that are, of course, the most progressive, down-to-earth people of all time, making people cry, shutting streams down, making lists so that they can target you, literally what is happening here. And it will blow away, honestly. I assume they're just incredibly, incredibly mad because now the game has come out and it's done extremely well and people are playing it. And then you have these large streamers and large YouTubers that are touching it that probably never really had an opinion on it up until that point, at least vocally, right, saying it out loud, and they're being attacked. So we'll kind of just leave it there, and we'll leave it there, honestly, because the flip side of things, this game is doing outstanding, and the game isn't even out yet for, I would argue, and I said this a little while ago in a live stream, I think, it's not even out for the majority of people. Now, I know it's extremely popular. And I know even right now, like, it is getting maybe 500,000 people playing it just on Steam. And those are tracked numbers. You know for a fact that these people are playing this game. And those are the people with the deluxe editions, right? We also know the deluxe editions routinely, right, at the top of PlayStation Store, Steam, you know, all of that stuff. Now, I had said that as time goes on, you're going to get more and more people to buy the standard. In fact, starting Friday, the biggest reason to buy the deluxe was, I would argue, and you can probably see it, for the 3-day early access, right? Once that's gone and once the game comes out and pricing and all that stuff, you're going to see the standard, the main edition, you know, whatever you want to call it, that's the edition that's going to sell well, you know, throughout time. So when it gets an additional 5, 10, 15 million units sold in the next year, 2 years, those are going to be standard edition copies, not deluxe, right? But you have it right now where it is just deluxe, and it is doing outrageously good. Now, I'm recording this about midday Wednesday. Hopefully, this video goes up Thursday. The number could keep going up. I don't think we've reached the max yet, but it's already at like 488,000. Like I said, almost 500,000 people playing the game just on Steam. That's not PlayStation 5, and it's not the Xbox consoles either. And it's Wednesday, kind of in the middle of the day. Now, yes, time zones, of course, kind of vary, but you still have the standard edition. So I assume the people that got the deluxe, they're still going to be playing it 3 days later, right? They're not going to have beaten it yet. And then you're going to have a whole nother wave of people that bought the standard edition. So I would not be surprised if this thing gets 600, 700, 800,000 people playing it, you know, live or in the moment. But speaking of live, you could also look at the record-breaking thing that this game did in terms of Twitch. So thousands and thousands of channels, of course, live streaming the game, but also the viewers. So it is a specific stat, right? You're kind of grasping a little. But I mean, even if you look at, I believe, all time, it is still pretty high. This game broke the all-time record for a single-player game for live viewers, right? So it was Cyberpunk, now it's Hogwarts, and I don't know what necessarily could. I assume maybe like GTA. I assume like GTA 6 would probably beat that eventually, right? It will be beaten at some point in its life, but at least for right now. And again, you know, you cherry pick it a little bit where it's, well, it's people watching it. And that doesn't necessarily mean those people buy it. At the same time, and we'll circle back to the controversy, all of this stuff that's happening probably just gets more and more people into the topic, whether they're for or against it, not decided yet. but they're going to get into Hogwarts Legacy in some way. They're going to become curious. Again, when you're told you're some of the worst things of all time, when you hear stories of people being bullied on streams and people crying and shutting down their streams because the chat is going after them, even if you have no idea what's going on, you may seek that game out. And I do believe people have done that. I think that's part of the reason that people would watch it live. Now, again, do they transfer? Do you convert them into buyers, into consumers of the game? Maybe some of them. I'm sure some of them will. Some of them probably don't, and that's fine, right? But you do see that stuff happening. And again, it's single player game, right? So a little cherry picking there, single player, not like a multiplayer thing. But I think from like all time as well, it's still relatively high, all things considered. And when you're at the top of one of the class, I personally am a single player kind of guy myself. So I look at it as a pretty big positive. So honestly, I hate to say I told you so, but I have been saying this for about several years now. The game's doing well. It's not necessarily like a gotcha or like an owning on anybody in particular. It's just literally what we've been saying. This is a game that so many people are into, so many people are going to get. And like the thing I've been running on for so long has simply been all of these sites, all of these people that have drawn their line and gone for the attacks. They are going to be in for the shock of their life. Like, it's just the way it is because they're so sure of the kind of people that buy the game, and they must know, I assume, they must have been ready for this day because then you have all these people doing it. You even have people that maybe you wouldn't expect to, right? Again, some of these bigger Twitch streamers, bigger YouTubers. I do think there's some of them that have specifically outright said, I'm not going to be playing the game or whatever. And again, that's fine. You should leave it there, please. Don't say any other additional sentences after. I'm not going to play it. Finished. Then go do something else. You see it online, again, just to kind of touch on the controversy. What I find very, very funny, and people are doing a really good job of reporting these things. Well, number one, these people are telling on themselves. They're saying some of the worst things you could possibly say to each other, and they're supposed to be the, again, calming, down-to-earth side of things. Clearly, that's not the case. Then you also have my favorite group, the gaming journalists. Some of them have just gone for it. Again, like, IGN has really surprised me in how much they've just gone for it. Now, I know they have, like, the little J.K. Rowling thing, but, like, there's dozens of articles they've written on this game, all of these guides, etc. But there's also some sites that I love that, and I'm kidding, by the way, that will say, we're not going to cover it. This site, we're a safe zone, and, obviously if you read that kind of stuff, or if you write it, or if you purchase the game, you are these kind of people. But you know what we will do? Because we can't sacrifice money because these articles get clicks. So what we'll do instead is we won't play the game, but boy, we will write as many articles as humanly possible on the game. And that I've seen on Twitter quite a bit. These sites that have even been interviewed for other sites. Other sites have said, let's look at this site that has sacrificed their revenue earnings because they're not going to make any on Hogwarts. Let's talk to this site about how strong they're being. And then the site has written like 8 articles on Hogwarts. They're still, and it's the hate baiting, right? They're writing really aggressive like headlines, taglines, whatever, to get people to click. So these people that are on that side, even them that say, I'm not having it. And again, that's where I draw the line. If you don't want to play it or you don't want to cover it, if you're these sites that don't want to cover the game, say your piece and get out. Leave. Like, please leave us alone. But what you'll do instead is you'll act all righteous, and we've already gone over that about how everything in life has a bad lineage. Throw your phone out the window, throw your laptop, throw your TV, throw your bed. Literally everything you own has some sort of bad lineage. So I hope those people are aware of that because of how strong they are. Obviously, I'm sure they do know. But then they say, well, we're not going to do any of it. And then you look at their website, we're not going to buy the game. Then you look on their website, and, there's all these articles written about it. Okay, so you're still making money off of it. You shouldn't be interviewed in terms of, you're going to miss out on all this ad revenue. Well, you're still writing Hogwarts Legacy articles. You're just not playing the game. So there's a word for those kind of people. I guess I won't say it just to not be too harsh. Again, it gets me boiled up, but I do hope people are enjoying it. I do think people are enjoying it. It's loud. It's very loud. It's very bad. This is not necessarily what you would want. People getting literally attacked, streams shutting down, crying, that kind of stuff. You don't really want that for your game, but it's definitely where we're at. And honestly, you kind of just survive it. Survive it, they will move on to a different target. The game will succeed, it'll sell. People that played it will have their opinions on the actual game, and then we kind of move on. And it all starts up again with DLC. It all starts up, if there is DLC, all starts up again when we do get a sequel, and that will happen. As long as they're not afraid of this stuff, right? I guess there's the sense that if they're too afraid of this kind of backlash, maybe they don't do anymore. I think money is very powerful in the world, and I think that speaks for itself. So there you go. Congrats to Hogwarts. It's not even sucking up to them. Again, if you want to buy the game, I don't care what opinion you have on the game. And then I don't care about what opinion you have when you're playing the game. Do what you want to do and just please leave people alone. And I'm not, you guys are not the people I'm technically talking to when I say those things. It's the people that honestly, sadly, maybe not sadly, can't be reasoned with. These people are unhinged and there's nothing you can do. You kind of just have to take it, hope that people kind of like survive it, and wait for them to kind of change course, which eventually I'm sure they'll do. So let me know what you guys think about it all in the comments below. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.